Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is the weekend edition of the Stock Market Wrap-Up, and today is Saturday, April 11th. We're going to take a look at the market action from yesterday, and then on a weekly basis, then we'll look at our indicators, numerous ETFs we've got to take a look at. Then we're going to look at stock trade ideas, how they turned out. We'll look at Twitter, Lulu, Electronic Arts, Facebook, Apple, Twitter again, and then one I'm currently working, and that's NXP Semiconductors. All right, let's start off here with the Dow. It was up 98 points, almost 99 points on Friday. So now it has broken above the congestion I talked about on Thursday night. And the other indices was doing it also. They broke out. The Dow was kind of lagging back here on Thursday. So the real question is, as I mentioned on Thursday night, is this the real deal, or is this kind of a fake out? And right now you just got to assume it's moving forward and moving to the high side. But it hasn't taken out this short-term high here, what I call a little pivot point. And so we're still in this little consolidation zone as far as I am concerned. Now, if it takes this point out, then I'm going to probably move this D over here and assume that maybe we got 1, 2, 3, 4 and working a fifth, but I would not expect the fifth to take this out. If it takes out this and then this point here, C, then I think we got to revise what's going on, because I got a feeling this wedge is going to go away. And so the same scenario with the S&P 500. I'm holding this right now because I like the way this trend line has 3 distinct points on it very clearly. And this looks like it's just been bouncing around this trend line. Now, again, just like on the Dow, if it takes out this point and then takes out this point, then we got to sit back and say, okay, maybe something else is going on. The NASDAQ, similar type scenario. I mean, we've got these rising wedges with all the markets, really. And, these, nice, we've had 3 days up in a row here, a nice little move, and, 4 out of 5 days on the NASDAQ. New York Composite, not nearly, I'm drawing the same type of scenario, but it's not nearly, pictorially to me, it's not as nice as the other wedges. But you could still see that it's clearly within these kind of boundaries. Now, this is, let's see here, high 115.58, and the high, so it didn't quite take it out, but it's very close to taking out this point here. I don't know. We'll just have to, continue to watch and see what it does. Russell 2000. And again, here's this trend line that I haven't touched all the way from March 2009. It's clearer on the weekly chart, but in reality, I think the Russell 2000 is also doing a little bit of a wedge formation here in the final. If you really say it's from December, you can almost say from November. I'm working it up from the bottom of October and kind of like a November. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last 5.5 months, 5 to 5.5 months. Of this rising overlapping waves wedge type thing. Let's look at the Dow on a weekly basis. Same kind of scenario. Now the Dow did close, practically on its high for the week and above the range of last week, of the previous week. So it could be a sign that it's going to continue to push to the high side. No guarantees, because you can see like here on the S&P 500. Just because something moves up and closes near the high doesn't mean you get follow through. I mean, you've just got to wait and see what the market's going to do. But clearly, it's closing near its high on the week, if not at its high. And just a hair, just a fraction off its high. NASDAQ weekly. Similar type scenario. Again, all these closes are back above the 10. Let me go back to I don't think I have the moving average for some reason. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back to S&P weekly. I don't have the moving averages on the S&P weekly. The Dow weekly, it's back above the 10-week moving average there after having 2 weeks below. So again, didn't get any follow through. Let's look at the New York weekly, New York Composite weekly. Now we've gotten 2 weeks in a row above the 10-week here. The 10's above the 21, above the 55. So everything is still just kind of edging up to the high side. But it's not dramatic. I mean, you can see how this has just been pushing sideways really since this point for sure, which is, what is that, November 21st? And then the last one is the Russell 2000. Yeah, there it is. I don't know why it's all the way down there, but okay. So it also closed on the high. So almost all the markets closed, all the indices closed on the high for the week. But again, it's just tugging right along this trend line, and you can see what I'm talking about right there. Okay, so it's just nestled right in there, and it doesn't seem to be showing us any different scenario than, you know, what it did right here and here, and we'll see if it continues to do that and push on up. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our indicators. Okay, here's the short-term trading index, and the 10-day is at 0.97, so it's starting to inch down, starting to get down towards this red line, which the last time it did that was February 17th, and prior to that was November 21st. So November 21st, right there, and February 17th, right in here somewhere, right here. So you can see they were a little bit ahead of the peak when they got to the extreme type of readings. Okay, let's take a look at the VIX. VIX closed pretty low, down 12.58 on the close. So that is the lowest close on the VIX since all the way back here on December 5th. Okay. Now, we did get, you know, a few closes in late November, December that were lower than that, and we had a cluster of them back in August as it got extremely low before we had that huge move September, October, right? So you start getting really low, sometimes it's a setup. All right, let's look at the high-low. 52-week high-low is not confirming the move of the indices to the higher. It's just going sideways. 126 more new highs than new lows. Okay, next up is the McClellan oscillator. And a similar story on the McClellan oscillator as on the high-low, really. I mean, we're kind of up in this range where it's slightly overbought, but it's not above 150, which is getting into the overbought zone. So still kind of in that neutral land. Now let's see. Oh, and the last thing I'll mention is the 10-day equity put to call is 0.65. So again, that has not reached an extreme either. All right, now we're going to take a look at the high yield bond fund. Okay, so this is pushing higher. So all week it kind of had this big move on the 7th, which was Tuesday, then a little sideways action for the last 3 days here, but definitely up from last Friday in this move. And the moving average short term, we're kind of moving to the high side. We still got the 21 below the 55 and all below the 233. So we'll see. It you know, this moves up when the market's moving up, or the market's moving up when this is moving up. And the next is the long-term bond. Okay, TLT. So again, we had this congestion started to break down on Thursday and Friday. Kind of an inside day. Let me blow it up a little bit more for you. You can see it's a little bit of an inside day. You know, it's slightly up for the day. Up 0.19, but you know, down because it opened higher and then closed below its open. That's why we have a dark bar there. All right, now we're going to look at the dollar index. And the US dollar index has continued its push higher. Big move on Thursday. Friday, a little bit of a continuation move. Kind of a sell-off from an intraday high a little bit, but still an up, kind of a bullish bar. So the trend is now pushing higher. And we'll see. I'm expecting it, like I said on Thursday, to take this point out and push higher. Okay, now we'll look at United States oil, 12-month oil. Okay, so you can see here with USL that it was up fractionally 0.39 for the day, but kind of sideways to down since Tuesday. Okay, but for the week, you know, it's up. It's definitely up. It's trying to, again, it's testing. It's going after the lower end of this consolidation area. And if it pushes higher and pushes above this point, there's probably a good chance it's going to try to, make a run for it. You see the look at the top of this congestion here, congestion consolidation, right, is right in here at about 26.32 or so. All right, let's look at GLD. Okay, Spider Gold shares. All right, so now we had a one-day bounce on Friday. And, you know, I was tempted again to draw a trend line across the top of these two pivot points here and all of that. But when you look at it on a weekly basis, this is still, you get the 10 below the 21. Everything is aligned to the downside. And the fact that we just got this moving average to cross back to the downside, yeah, we might get another week or two bouncing above it. But I got a feeling this is going to be coming right on back down. So we'll just have to watch that on a daily basis to see how that plays out. All right, now let's take a look at some of our sector ETFs, I call them. We're going to look at semiconductors. Okay, so the semiconductors had a couple day bounce in here, pretty nice. Again, for the week, where is this? Second, yeah, the second was the Thursday, because Friday was closed. So this for the week up nice, you know, making a little bit of a continuation counter trend. It's still, the jury's still out. Is this an ABC or is this an ABC? You know, so are we in a move to the high side, or have we turned down? Now, if we've turned down, then this becomes 1 2 1 2 because this is overlapping this wave. If it's going higher, which I'm kind of leaning that way right now, honestly, because of the way the moving averages are looking and all of that. So the way this is looking like he wants to make a run for this trend line and to break and make a swing move higher. We'll see. All right, let's see. Next one is the home builders. Okay, XHB, that was down or up 0.08 for the day, but they've got two consecutive closes here below the 10. All the moving averages are aligned bullishly, but we got some consolidation that's pulled back, and so we'll have to see, does it take out a couple day high here and push higher, or does it do that to the downside? So it's setting up for a breakout, but who knows? It's not sure which way it's going to go, and it's kind of hard to tell by the indicators. Are all in neutral land. All right, now we're going to take a look at XLF financials. And the financials aren't giving us more of a clue at all, except for the fact that you look at this consolidation in here, and my immediate reaction is it's not confirming the push up by the indices. Okay, all the indices have pushed out of this consolidation, and the financials have not confirmed that. The 10 is below the 21. They're starting to get almost laying on top of each other. So we could get a breakout move. It's just a question of which way do we get it. I don't know that I'd call this a rising triangle. You kind of looks like that, except the fact that this point went lower than this is, again, we're just chopping around sideways here because we don't have consistent lower highs and lower lows. We've got a higher high and then we got a lower low here is what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're just gonna have to watch this consolidation. The next one is biotech. Okay, so IBB is continuing its pullback. This snapback rally here, and so is this little correction over with, and it's continuing higher? We still got the 21. Again, these guys, they're aligned to the upside, and it could be a continuation move that's starting to get underway. It's pretty strong day, but we move 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row up. So we'll see whether, again, this could be an ABC just corrective like wave 2 and this be a wave 1. I mean, that's a possibility, but you don't get confirmation until you start breaking through these pivots to the low side here. So we'll see if it turns or continues higher. The next one is XLE, and that's the last one of the ETF. Okay, energy ETF, XLE. So very tight little bar on Friday, just continuing the uptrend that it's making. But as I drew these parallel lines down in here, it was still in this consolidation zone by all means. I mean, it's not breaking out. Now, we did break this longer term trend line with this move. It kind of broke it, pulled back, now broken back out of it again. But I think this is the zone that you got to be wary of. You need to be able to get above this peak. And you get above that peak, a good chance you might close this gap pretty quickly. And then we'll just see where we go from there. All right, let's take a look at Twitter to start off with. Okay, Twitter, we got in with puts here. Thought we were possibly breaking down because of this move here. And then got stopped out on this day here. So we took a little loss on that option trade. Now we have gotten back in on Twitter and am still in. Got in on, oh gosh, I don't have the data. I think it was this day here. What's the low? 51.54. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was either this day or yesterday. I can't honestly remember. Let me look at my notes here real quick. Yeah, it was on Thursday. It was on Thursday. We got in here. Okay, so again, I'm in with puts. We're getting divergence, fairly strong divergence in here. Now, this divergence may have been a little too far apart to make this powerful, but I like the look of this divergence in here over a closer time frame. We're talking about, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 days. Usually those kind of 10 to 12 day divergences are a little stronger. You're seeing it on all three indicators. So right now, we'll see whether we get some follow through back down. I'm not looking for a huge collapse, but we'll see whether we come back down, test this, or get to the 55. I mean, that would be a nice trade if we got back down into this zone here. So that's what we're looking for on Twitter. Lulu is another one that we had, Lululemon. And Lulu, we got in, we thought it was breaking down here on this day. Got to this snapback rally, I think it was after earnings, and then we've been chopping sideways and then got stopped out up in here. Using the kind of stop I was using, we kind of got bit with this little move, and every once in a while that's going to happen. And this turned out to be kind of an ugly trade the way the end result was. I may look at tightening the stops a little bit more down into here after 5 days, start getting a little bit tighter on these. But I'm still not convinced this is breakout, because just by the way this is all acting and given this kind of correction here, given that this was a zigzag, I'm not expecting this to be a zigzag unless this wave 3 was here. I'm expecting wave 4 to be the alternate of wave 2 is what I'm trying to say. If this is a zigzag, then wave 4 is probably going to be more complex, or like a flat of some kind. And so there's a possibility. I do think wave 3 ended here, and if this turns into a flat, then this could be a B and come back down for a C. That's why I'm just not convinced about this move to the high side. But if continues to push, takes out the high of these 3 days, that could be a different story. All right, but we're out of Lulu. And Electronic Arts is the next one. In Electronic Arts, I did tighten the stop on this and exit. This was really disappointing to me. I thought we were getting a breakout, but again, this breakout failed, in my opinion. I mean, it moved up here, thought we were going to run, and then it comes right back down. And yeah, we're kind of going sideways, and got stopped out here on Thursday as I tightened the stops. And yeah, I came back a little bit here on Friday. We'll see whether it continues, but I'm not going to try to play this again because of just the action. And it may continue the upside, but we're out of it right now. And let's see, the next one is Facebook. And Facebook is also, we're not getting the run and follow through. All the moving averages are aligned to the high side, but this is dogging it back here. It's pulling back, and we've got now a couple of closes below the 10. So again, I'll be tightening the stop in here, and we'll see whether this wants to continue. It needs to tell us, is it going to break down, below here, or is it going to break up to the upside and continue this move, what I was looking for and expecting. This kind of looks like it wants to do that, like maybe we had this first move and we're getting a little pullback. But if it continues to pull back, then I'm going to get out. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and start wishing and hoping or whatever. I mean, I've got a specific setup and a specific stop. And by the way, all of these trade ideas I talk about, the details are on the Trade Ideas webpage. And when I lay out an idea, I always I'm always detailing, the entry point, the type of option, because a lot of times I'll be talking about an option trade in here. You don't have to look at it from an option trade perspective, but I do. And then I'm always talking about a stop. I always have a target. Most of the time I have a target. Sometimes it's open. We'll take a look at Apple. Apple here, and again, Trade Idea webpage. If you're not a subscriber, it's very easily to do. First name and email, and you're good to go. Apple is starting to come back. We got in up here on the breakout. Again, thought we were popping after this nice trend line break. Thought we're resuming this move to the upside. I do think if this continues, this is the fifth move. We'll see whether we get it or not. It's acting like it still wants to move to the high side with this action here. Let me blow this up a little bit. It's kind of nice what it's done here the last couple of days. But given, I don't know, I mean, the market's pushing and this hasn't pushed higher. So I would like to have seen this a little bit stronger, but it's nice that it closed on its high. So we'll take it. And we already talked about Twitter. The last one I'm looking at that I'm still working, we're not in, so this is a trade idea still working. This looks like it wants to break down to me, but I've got a specific entry down in here. I've got a specific setup that I'm playing, and I haven't gotten the entry point on it yet. I had one out here on Thursday, had it out for Friday, did not get the entry. I'm going to give it one more day to see if we get entered on Monday. But this looks to me like it wants to break down. We got quite a bit of divergence in here. And yeah, we did get the move down to, like on the RSI down to around 40, 44. Kind of chopped sideways. But the divergence was showing up in all of the indicators. So the real question is was the divergence enough? Was this move enough to placate that divergence, or is this just a short-term little bounce and it's going to make one more leg down? A lot of times when they make moves, they make two-legged moves. And to me, this looks like a one and kind of a two back up and looking for the second leg down. So we'll see. But again, we're not in this yet, just watching it, got the details set out, and we'll see if it hits or not. All right, that's it for the weekend. If I have any other trade ideas, I've kind of glanced through most of the stocks. I don't think I have anything. We've got enough working right now. But if I see something, I'll definitely post it out there before the market opens. So keep an eye on that. And usually when I do that, especially on Monday morning or something, I usually tweet it. So if you're following me on Twitter at Joe Henches, you can easily pick that up. And if I do that, I try to get it out before 8 o'clock Central Time for sure. If not even 7:30, especially if it's a new trade idea. Don't always make those times, but that's my target. So, all right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. If you're watching this video anywhere besides my website, head on over to the website, check out the posts and the special training video I've got out there for you. Still out there for a little while longer. Then we're going to be taking it down, and we've got a whole new series of free training that's coming. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It gives you access to the Trade Ideas page and the free PDF I've got for you, the 5 Essentials. All right, everyone, have a great weekend, and I'm going to go watch the Masters.